What's up, everyone? It's the Emerald Enthusiast back with another Green Lantern collectible review. This time I'll be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Collector Edition Platinum Chase figure of Red Lantern Guy Gardner. The side of the package says Guy Gardner Red Lantern. The Platinum Edition sticker is located on the lower right-hand corner of the package. The figure comes with a trading card and a peg base, both of which are positioned behind the figure. Here is the personal power battery, the interchangeable hands, and the interchangeable faces, all of which are positioned beside the figure. Here is the DC logo peg base with the painted DC logo. As I've said in other reviews, I wish that McFarlane would use Lantern Corps symbols on these bases instead of just the DC logo, but I also understand that that is an extra expense. And here we see the trading card. I appreciate the inclusion of these trading cards with the figures. However, it's obvious in this case that the figure differs greatly from the image that we see here. There's a very brief biography of Guy Gardner on the back of the card. If you would like to read this, just hit pause and do so now. Here is the personal power battery accessory, and as you might expect, this is simply a repaint of the other two batteries that we got with the other two Guy Gardner figures. This figure features a black and blood red color scheme. This uniform most closely resembles Guy's appearance in Green Lantern Corps Volume 2, Issue number 43. The paint detail on this figure is very precise. The musculature is accurate for Guy Gardner in the comics, and there is excellent sculpting detail on the jacket as well. The red paint that has been used on this figure is very eye-catching, and the overall attention to detail on this figure is excellent. Although I do have some small criticisms of this figure, it is certainly worth the MSRP. Here's a close-up of the ring, and when Guy initially got a Red Lantern ring, it was during Blackest Night, and he was enraged over the apparent death of Kyle Rayner. And at that point, he was still in possession of his Green Lantern ring, which was on his right hand, whereas the red ring was on his left hand, and it was also shaped like the Red Lantern symbol. Although it's not a big deal, I would have appreciated a little more accuracy in this area, and also the paint application on the ring is somewhat sloppy. Conversely, the Red Lantern Corps symbol on the jacket is magnificent. Despite all of the wrinkles that have been sculpted into the jacket, the line work on the Red Lantern Corps symbol is still very exact. Here's a look at the interchangeable faces, and the first one here really reminds me of a vampire. I don't mind what McFarlane did with the eyes, although the paint came out a little more pink than red. Also, the skin tone on the faces and the neck doesn't exactly match up. Here's a look at the interchangeable fist and pointing hand. I always appreciate a pointing hand for dynamic posing. The figure also comes with a set of gripping hands with extended trigger fingers. If you're a customizer and you have some McFarlane firearm accessories, I think it would be easy to paint them as red constructs and fit them into these gripping hands. Here is the image on the back of the box, and obviously there are key differences here with the two uniforms. Guy was in the Red Lanterns comic series later on, and as you can see, there are differences here with the boots, the jacket, and the headpiece. I don't really mind it when McFarlane puts their own spin on figures. However, I do think that they could have chosen a different image for the card and the back of the package. In terms of articulation, we have the midfoot hinge and ankle joints. We have double jointed knees, so it's possible to get the figure into a deep running pose. The figure can kick this far forward. I've got a very tight knee joint there. And step back this much. And it's possible to get the figure into a full split, and that is quite impressive. As you might expect, the torso movement is somewhat hindered due to the jacket. It's very difficult to get the figure to crunch forward or rock back, but there is a little movement. We get wrist rotation, double jointed elbows, as well as bicep swiveling. The arms can do a 360 at the shoulder joints. These shoulder joints will allow collectors to get the figure into this full wingspan pose, and that is quite impressive. The head can look from side to side, and whoops, I almost gave the figure a haircut here. The head can look up and down a moderate amount, and there is a minor amount of head tilting. Here's a look at the figure next to the 90s Guy Gardner from the solo title, as well as the Green Lantern Guy Gardner. And since this is Guy's first appearance in the line, I'm very happy that McFarlane gave us two quality platinum figures instead of just doing a glow-in-the-dark version. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the rest of my Green Lantern collectible reviews, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I would certainly appreciate it. And I'll be back with more Guy Gardner content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.